For today's video, we've traveled out to Texas to get an in-depth look at the all-new 2018 Volkswagen Performance Fuel Economy interior space, pricing, and a general features overview. Of course, I'll take it on a thorough drive and show you many of the unique aspects. When equipped to start, all you have to do is just make sure you have the key fob within the interior, then put your foot on the brake and hit the console-mounted button to go. For the 2018 model year, Volkswagen is launching the Atlas, an all-new three-row SUV that's designed to compete against the Ford Explorer, Honda Pilot, Toyota Highlander, and other similar-sized offerings. Built in Chattanooga, Tennessee, on top of Volkswagen's new Modular Transverse Matrix, or MQB platform, the Atlas is 190.3 inches long, 78.3 inches wide, and 69.6 inches high, putting it right in line with the rest of the competition. With an efficiently packaged 117.3-inch wheelbase, it offers one of the roomiest interiors in the segment with respect to both passenger and cargo space. I've talked about MQB in some prior VW reviews, stamped steel body and chassis components that boast a larger percentage of high-strength and hot-formed steel for greater strength and reduced weight. Speaking of, curb weight for V6 models range between 4,336 pounds and 4,502 pounds. Upcoming four-cylinder models will weigh even less. The styling is an evolution of revolutionary per se, but the silhouette is notably more aggressive and masculine compared to what's typically seen in this segment. It reminds me of a larger Jeep Grand Cherokee, traditional in nature, especially when looking at it from the side. The front end is dominated by a broad chrome grille that seamlessly blends into a pair of full LED headlamps. Flared wheel arches joined by one-piece body creases add serious definition to the side profile. Overhead, a large panoramic sunroof is offered on SEL and SEL Premium models. It measures 4.46 feet by 2.85 feet and combines a two-part glass opening system with a powered sunshade. Out back, you'll find a spoiler perched on top of the sloping rear window. LED taillamps are standard on the SEL Premium only. The lower fascia is finished with twin chrome exhaust garnishes. At launch, the Atlas will be available in 5 trim levels. The entry model Atlas S will begin at $30,500 before a destination and handling fee of $925. This is followed by the $33,590 SE, the $35,690 SE with technology, the $39,160 is scheduled to arrive in dealerships this May. The Atlas comes standard with 18 by 8-inch silver-painted alloy wheels and 245/60 all-season tires. However, when adding the V6, you also gain the option of these 20 by 8-inch alloys, which are wrapped in 255/50 tires. Providing strong and sure-footed stopping power is a set of internally ventilated front discs measuring 13.2 by 1.2 inches and 12.2 by 0.9 inch solid rear discs. They're clamped down by twin piston and single piston calipers respectively. The Atlas is the only vehicle in its class to offer an automatic post-collision braking system. 4-channel ABS is also included along with electronic brake force distribution. The MQB platform is a unitary design featuring bolt-on front fenders and solid-mounted front and rear subframes. The suspension is fully independent and consists of McPherson struts in front, a multi-link design in the rear, and front and rear stabilizer bars. It rides 8 inches off the ground with approach, departure, and breakover angles of 20.4, 22.4, and 17.5 degrees respectively. The electric power-assisted, speed-proportional rack and pinion steering takes 2.76 turns to lock and has a ratio of 16.3 to 1. The turning circle is measured at 38 feet. The steering is light and places a priority on comfort and smooth operation. That being said, there's not much feedback, but the firmness is adjustable via the drive modes. When set to Sport, it tightens up to increase steering effort and overall feel. The Atlas is very well mannered out on the road. It's solid and composed over rough surfaces and always maintains excellent ride quality. Even through corners, it's able to handle itself surprisingly well. When opting for the V6, you gain the option of 4-motion all-wheel drive. Despite being a permanent system, during light loads, it's able to decouple the rear wheels to help conserve fuel. At a moment's notice, the rear wheels can be re-engaged in just fractions of a second. The distribution of torque is routed through 4-motion center differential, which is controlled by an electrohydraulic oil pump. Up to 50% of the available torque can be sent to the rear wheels at any given time. While the center differential acts longitudinally, front and rear electronic differential locks provide additional control laterally. As a function of the electronic stability control system, they're able to brake a spinning wheel in order to transfer torque to the wheel on the opposite side for greater traction. Adding 4-motion also gets you a rotary dial in the center console with a bunch of drive modes, including on-road, snow, off-road, and custom off-road. On-road is the default mode. When active, you can press the button in the middle of the rotary dial to toggle between normal, sport, eco, and individual subsettings. Within each, the tuning parameters for the engine control, gearbox, steering, and optional adaptive cruise control are varied. Snow and off-road mode work very similar to each other and tie in additional systems to ensure the Atlas maintains traction and control over unstable road surfaces and terrain. Custom off-road mode is similar to the individual on-road mode, but it's been further expanded to allow the driver to alter the steering, engine, gearbox behavior, as well as hill descent control and hill start assist. The Atlas system dual overhead cams, 4 valves per cylinder, and dual variable valve timing. Fuel is delivered via direct injection, accompanied by a compression ratio of 12:1. Maximum engine speed is approximately 6,500 RPM. With 276 horsepower at 6,200 RPM and 266 pound-feet of torque at 2,750 RPM, the Atlas performance is expected for this segment. It accelerates smoothly and even sounds pretty good while doing it. Out on the road, it remains relatively quiet. Everything is pretty well insulated and there's very little wind noise. The 4-cylinder is rated at 235 horsepower at 4,500 RPM and 258 pound-feet of torque at just 1,600 RPM. It'll be the standard offering but won't be available till later in the model year. Despite being down on power, the 4-cylinder should still deliver respectable performance, especially since it delivers its peak torque, which isn't that far off from the V6 at a much lower RPM. Regardless of which engine you choose, power is sent through an 8-speed automatic transmission before being sent to either the front or all 4 wheels. If needed, you have the ability to manually select gears by the console shifter. Pulling the shifter backward while in drive toggles between normal and sport transmission programming. Sport raises the shift points and activates dynamic throttle blips on downshifts. It also makes the transmission more responsive when driving spiritedly. At the time of this video, all-wheel drive is an exclusive option for the V6. There's no word yet on whether it will be offered for the 4-cylinder. Irrespective of the trim level, the Atlas can be equipped with either engine or drivetrain option, except for the SEL Premium, which is only offered with the V6 and all-wheel drive. With the latter, the Atlas is expected to be rated at 17 miles per gallon in the city and 23 miles per gallon on the highway, with a combined average of 19 miles per gallon. Front-wheel drive models should improve those numbers by 1 to 2 miles per gallon. Official EPA ratings will be available prior to the vehicle's market launch this spring. Fuel economy estimates for the 4-cylinder are not yet available due to its late availability. Both engines will feature auto start-stop technology. An 18.6-gallon fuel tank is standard across the board. The interior of the Atlas is undoubtedly Volkswagen, featuring a clean and well-thought-out dashboard that places everything within easy reach. Build quality is quite good too, with padded material covering the necessary touch points and even a stitched dashboard. If you're familiar with VW's current lineup, the no-nonsense layout, memory presets on adjusting position, shifter height, and the spacing between the pedals were fine-tuned for driver comfort. After an extended drive through the Texas countryside, I'd have to agree. On the entry model, cloth seats are standard. The rest of the lineup adopts leatherette except for the SEL Premium, which adds genuine leather. Heatable front seats are included on the SE and above, but only the SEL Premium gets ventilated front seats, heated rear seats, and even a heated steering wheel. As expected for such a large vehicle, storage space is abundant. Along with sizable door pockets and a pop-down cubby on the left-hand side of the dash, there's a cavernous center console and even a tray on top of the dash. Ahead of the gear selector is a storage tray that houses an auxiliary input, USB port, and a 12-volt power outlet. An additional USB port can be found in the center console. The glove box is locking, offers a good amount of space, and houses a CD player. Of course, the Atlas is available with an array of both passive and active safety systems. The amount of systems depend on which trim level you choose. Standard on every Atlas is a rear-view camera and 6 airbags, including dual-stage front airbags, front seat-mounted side airbags, and full-length curtain airbags. The amount of available driver assistance systems is pretty impressive too. Blind spot monitoring with rear cross traffic alert is added when stepping up to the SE. On the SE with technology and above, lane departure warning with lane assist is included, along with adaptive cruise control with stop and go, and forward collision warning with autonomous emergency braking and pedestrian monitoring. That's not all though. When selecting the SEL, you gain front and rear park distance control, but the SEL Premium takes that one step further by offering steering assist, which allows for semi-autonomous parking, parallel and perpendicular. The latter works in both forward and reverse. It's especially cool to see in person and works surprisingly well. The SEL Premium differentiates itself once more by including automatic high beam control and a 360-degree overhead view camera system. There's 3 audio systems and 3 touchscreen media options available, but our tester's 12-speaker 480-watt Fender system is by far the most intriguing as it was specifically developed for the Atlas. Also shown here is the range-topping Discover Media 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system with navigation. The screen is capacitive touch, just like a smartphone, and resides underneath a piece of glass with a satin finish. Along with HD and satellite radio, you'll find Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, MirrorLink, and so much more. My favorite piece of tech within the Atlas is the new Volkswagen Digital Cockpit. It's another exclusive feature to the SEL Premium. A 12.3-inch reconfigurable digital instrument cluster. And while it looks somewhat similar to the Audi Virtual Cockpit, this system was developed specifically by Volkswagen for this application.